This is TWiT.
Yeah, so we've all been excited about the new Valve hardware, the whole hardware lineup in general for a while now, and we finally have another tangible sign that that one of those products is getting closer to being ready. Valve's upcoming wireless VR headset, the Steam Frame, not to be confused with anything that Jeff was confused in thinking the frame was a few weeks ago. It's their VR headset. Anyway, has just had an important piece of its Linux foundation released publicly. Valve has been working with the open source consulting company Collabora on something called Holo Core. This is a pure ARM64 port of Arch Linux that will serve as the foundation of the operating system running on the Steam Frame. Now, for the first time, Collabora has published the project source packages, compiled binaries, and development container for people to explore. This is necessary because the Steam Frame will run on a Qualcomm ARM processor instead of the traditional x86 processor used by the Steam Deck and most PC gaming. Standard Arch Linux does not officially support ARM64, so Valve and Collabora have had to build much of that infrastructure themselves. Even though Holo Core currently contains only the software needed for the Steam Frame development and image creation, that limited collection still includes several thousand packages and their dependencies. Collabora also has created a repeatable build system capable of following Arch Linux constantly changing rolling release repositories. It's not a complete Steam Frame operating system. And it certainly is not a downloadable image that will magically turn your random ARM device into a Valve headset. But it is kind of behind-the-scenes infrastructure that has to exist before Valve can ship the real product. It also gives the open source community an early look at Valve's work to bring SteamOS beyond the x86 hardware. That could eventually matter for far more than VR. The same foundation could help SteamOS reach ARM-powered handhelds and laptops or other gaming devices in the future. Most importantly, code is harder to dismiss than rumors. Valve still has not given us a final Steam Frame release date or price, but this project is clearly moving beyond prototype and private development. The operating system foundation is being built, tested, and now open for outside experimentation. We still do not know exactly when we will be able to buy the Steam Frames, but every time Valve releases another real piece of platform, it feels a little less like future hardware and a little more like hardware that is actually being prepared to ship. I believe they were saying 2026, rough time frame. So we're halfway through if they keep on that. Maybe I could be wrong on that date, but 6-ish more months to go. So hopefully we'll see something this year. I know this is something you're maybe even more excited for, Jonathan.
Yeah, I've been watching this. I think it's a pretty cool idea. I'm gonna blow your mind and tell you that we don't have 6 months left of the year. We have like 4.5.
January, February, March. They may have it out in time for the holidays.
July already.
July 5, 6, 5.5. I think. I mean,
get ready to get your Christmas spirit ready.
Yeah, they'll be out in stores before you know it.
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
But what I think that this is for primarily is so that before they even get that frame visor launched, they can give developers the opportunity to play with that environment and start maybe possibly writing programs or games specifically for that environment.
Yeah, I'm sure that there will be some dev kits that they send out, and I don't know about. Yeah, you talk about. I'm sure there will be games written specifically for it. because it's such a different thing than anything else has ever done. I guess it's similar in some ways to the Quest, right? Like the Meta's Quest, I think they call it. It was kind of a standalone headset too. It was just so underpowered was the problem. Whereas this is going to be much more of a real sort of Linux experience, and so lots of things are going to just work. I look forward to it. I think it's going to be a neat
Quest, formerly called the Quest, before Meta bought it.
No, it had a different name before Meta. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember what it used to be.
What was it? Okay, come on, audience, tell us. It was the Oculus Quest.
Yeah.
Too slow.
Is it
audience.
the same thing?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Meta bought Oculus.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. I thought those were two different companies.
The article I read about this by Marcus Nestor actually thinks that you'll see curious developers spinning it up pulling it to put in a container in it, spin it up with DistroBox, and possibly using QEMU emulation on the x86-64 host, and then try building packages themselves using the published preview repository that Valve's got.
Just put it on a Raspberry 5.
You probably could. It probably would run there, actually. That would be a really interesting development environment.
Put two monitors there for the two lenses, and I'll just put those monitors.
Take two monitors to your face. Yeah, that's going to look great. Perfect. Let's do that. Let's get right on that, Rob. Let's get right on that.
Or just go with a single monitor, so you can see how that 2D game's gonna feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, even even a 2D.
Hold on. He said
a 2D game though is going to have to be offset because you're going to have two screens. So if you have a 2D game played in a VR headset, you're going to have to offset that, right?
I mean, you project it. You project it onto a virtual screen.
Yeah. The system, I guess, would.
Yeah, the system's going to do it.
But
it's going to make it look like what it does is it'll take it and it'll make it look like it's a big screen TV floating in front of your face, essentially.
Sure, that's how. Like, I've never actually watched a show or a movie or anything in the Meta Quest, but you can watch Netflix in there, and it just makes it look like a 2D screen in front of you.
Now, what could be really interesting, and I know that some projects there's been some work done on this, but like a game that runs on a known game engine, there is actually depth information in there. And I've seen people do crazy things like hack the game engine and pull that depth information out real time. And so when you play the game, instead of just projecting it flat, it turns it into a 3D experience. And that's pretty cool when that works well. I've seen people do that all the way back to like NES and Super Nintendo games. That when you project it, it'll do that. It'll make different layers, which it's a clever hack and it works really well on some things.
Like the 3DS.
I mean, the 3DS is kind of cheating. It's already doing that.
If you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check out the Untitled Linux Show. You can find us in your favorite podcasting app or subscribe to our YouTube channel down in the links below. See you there.